We've now reached the halfway point of the beach and also of the film, well, about. Just a bit of info, we started at the southern tip of Paignton Beach and we've been walking northwards. And we'll eventually get to a drain outlet, which will be the finishing thing, which is just further up towards this way. When it comes to like flowing water or sort of waves, sort of rushing water kind of sounds, they always seem to be associated with sort of teleporting you to like a new area, like a new area of relaxation. It's like so many people, like musicians, have used water, like John Cage or even Enya, to sort of to create a piece of music from it. And it's always like it's quite relaxing, quite soft. Even when it comes to something like thunderstorms or even like waterfalls or something like that, it's always, no matter how choppy it is, it always seems to be some sort of relaxing CD or sound clip of some kind, which I find rather odd, really, because it's, you know, when it comes to something like, if you imagine a storm or rushing water or something, it's maybe it pulls up relaxing imagery for you. I'm not sure, but I always like, if I think of like a beach which is being set by a massive storm, it's not the most relaxing thing, unless you're kind of looking at it from an outside point of view, where you're sort of seeing it as you're sort of sat inside comfy and you're sort of imagining the sort of waves as they're going by. So it's like, you know, the sort of contrast in a way. Sort of, I suppose it's a bit of Schadenfreude, really, when you sort of watch someone walking by in pouring rain, but if you're sat by a fire, it kind of cheers you up a little bit, doesn't it? Well, wasn't that relaxing? So we're now coming to the final stretch of this walk, which will soon enough take us around the back of the Redcliffe Hotel into a little cove, and then we'll follow that round and keep going along until we can finally come to the little drain outlet right at the end of the walk. This little cove inlet little bit here was my favourite part of the entire walk, I think, because it was definitely the quietest area, especially on the days when we were recording, because I took about 5 days to make this film. To actually, 5 days of actually going down to the beach on each day, getting different recordings, different sound clips, different visual pieces, and sort of all threading them in together. So like the sound, like all of this wasn't done in one day. I got a lot of different sound effects from different places and different times. But every time I came to here, because the wind is always coming from the sea when we were doing it, it's like it blocks it by this wall. So it was really nice here because you could just kind of like have a nice chill when you got to this bit. You didn't have to deal with, especially on the last day when we recorded this, which was the day when I got most of my visual recordings, it was really windy, so it was nice to actually come in here and just have a break from it for a while. This final bit of the cove here was nice to do because we sort of walked along, instead of along the sand, you had like an upstep bit of the wall which you could sort of get up, go all the way around inside this little bit of the cove, and then sort of go down on the other side again before the final stretch. And it was nice to get that new dimension of where you were, really, instead of just going along the sand, because the whole way through, well, I could hear the sort of the soft crunch, and even though you had the different textures of the sort of the sloppy sand and the dry sand and all that thing, it was nice to actually get a more solid thing to walk on, even if it was ridiculously slippy on the different kinds of seaweed that you had. As we go around the corner here, we come to the final stretch of the actual walk. There were two areas which I could have chosen to walk on. One of them was the sand bit, which I'm walking on at the moment. On the other one was this brick pathway thing on the right. We did actually try it originally with the pathway, but there's no end to it. It just has like a sheer drop on one half, and then down the side on this little slopey bit here, and there was no way of actually sort of getting down very majestically, so I decided to go on the sand bit for this final bit. This bit of the walk was technically speaking, the most natural area, because you could the Red Cliff Hotel, which is on the other side, blocks almost any noise coming from the town. So here you have just the sounds of the sea and the gulls and the wind and all those sort of sounds, rather than the cars and all the man-made noises that you get coming from the other side. Just coming up now to the drain outlet, which is, as I said before, will be the finalised point here. This area I stumbled upon quite by accident. It's got a lot of resonance when you actually hear inside of it, and it doesn't have the sort of echo which is sort of the it has like a constant drone which just kind of fades out after a little while, which is a really nice area, which I really enjoyed about it. And I just chose to finish it off at this point because it seemed like a natural ending point, because it's like another one of those characteristics of the beach which you don't expect to find on a beach like this. So this is where the film will come to an end, and will finish fairly soon. Well, that concludes the entire walk. The drain was where I wanted to finish off, and that's where I finalised my film. Really, it's this is one of the examples I think I found of an unexpected audio aspect of a beach that you really don't see unless you properly have a look round. So I'd love to know where this tunnel, where it actually is. I assume it's some sort of outlet for the waters of Paignton, but I actually don't know. But it's like also the bubbling stream as well. It's like, do they have like very similar backstories themselves? Are they both drains, but one of them has been covered with rocks and is pushing the water out? But I'm not sure. But I think, and as well as these noises, I actually managed to get the more obvious ones as well, like the coming in of the tides and things like that. But that was also a very important element for this piece, because it was like I had a limited time on each one of the 5 days that I was down here to do. I had about 5 hours before the tide actually comes up to a point where it starts affecting areas which I wanted to work with, like the drain. So I thought to finish off the piece, I'd show you, I'd bring all the piano pieces together that I've worked on to create the final melody, and just take the last recording that I had of one of the flattest areas of the beach, where you can actually properly see the tide coming in. So that'll be the final bit for you.